Hello and welcome back to day 2 of the 30-day Nature Connection Challenge. So today I wanted to talk to you about sit spots, and this is one of the sit spots that I use in the garden. I have a lovely view of one of our ponds. I also like to come out and eat breakfast here and really reflect on where the food's come from. Just reflecting on the plants and the soil and the sun and the water and all the people as well. And yeah, just feeling grateful, just being really aware of nature as a part in producing my breakfast. And it also really helps me to notice the flavours. Somehow it's much more easy to eat mindfully when I'm outdoors. That's not really a sit spot practice, but it's good to come and sit in the sit spot to eat breakfast, or any other meal for that matter. I do eat all of my meals as much as I can outdoors. But sit spot practice is more about getting really mindful, getting in touch with our senses, and just noticing. Um, and the great thing is, by coming and sitting in the same spot every day, you get to notice all the patterns. So at the moment, this time of day, the gulls start flying back westwards, and you get to learn their patterns, their behaviours, how they're affected by the weather, and also just noticing how things change during the seasons as well, what things stay the same and what things change. And this is a lovely spot as well for watching the bats in the evening. And so just learning the daily patterns, the rhythms during the day when the birds start to go quiet, so the bats appear. And so I tend to like to just notice the feeling. I really notice the sounds, the changes in the sounds at the different times of day. So dawn and dusk are just wonderful for that. There's a kind of a just a magical time where there's a feeling in the air, and there's the sounds of birds singing, perhaps. There's a kind of a quiet. There's a change in the air. It feels different. And see, there's some man-made noises as well, but quite often in the early morning or early evening, there's less of that. It's a little bit early yet at the moment, but it's important as well just to get that those man-made noises um, aren't too disruptive. And what I've found is that if I'm trying to fight those and trying to fight parts of my experience, it could be that actually not the noises, it could be that I've got lots of thoughts whirring in my head. But if I start fighting them, then that's all I notice. So it's just about allowing them to be there. It's part of the kind of symphony of life, part of the weather. And then they fade much more into the background. So yeah, back to our sit spot practice. So really just inviting you to find a spot where it's comfortable to sit for a bit. You can use a mat, or you could use a chair as well. Try different things. You could even lie down if you want, and notice the sky, notice things from different angles, or turn towards the ground. Lovely blackbird just going over. And yeah, get really familiar. Every day is completely different. And one day you might be watching the clouds, the next day ants or blades of grass. Noticing the scents, noticing the textures and the changes in the light. Just, yeah, all sorts of things. It's really as far as your imagination will take you, with all the things that you could possibly explore. And whatever comes into your awareness, into your experience, you can perhaps focus on things further away or notice things really close up, take a sort of wide lens view or a closer up view. So that's, yeah, just an introduction to sorts of things you can do with a sit spot. And initially you might want to explore and just try different places. I have a couple of places where I sit, and they're different. They're both very different, and yeah, use both of them. But you could explore around the garden as to where has a good feel. Perhaps as part of your wildlife garden is to think about creating that area specifically for it to be your sit spot, and kind of make it really special for you. What do you want to be in that space, and how do you sort of mark it out? So yeah, I look forward to speaking with you tomorrow.